The story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden is one of the most well-known and influential narratives in the Bible. This account of humanity's origins and the tragic fall from grace has captivated readers for centuries, serving as a profound exploration of sin, judgment, and the human condition. Through careful analysis of the scriptural text, we will unpack the symbolic significance of the forbidden fruit, the role of the serpent, and the judgment pronounced by God. We will also consider the profound impact of the fall on the relationship between humanity and the divine, as well as the echoes of this story that reverberate throughout the rest of the Bible and the human experience. The biblical account of the creation of Adam and Eve is found in the book of Genesis, the first book of the Old Testament. According to the Genesis narrative, God created the heavens and the earth, and on the sixth day, He created the first man, Adam, from the dust of the ground. God then placed Adam in the Garden of Eden, a lush and idyllic paradise, and declared that he could freely eat from any tree in the garden except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God warned Adam that if he were to eat from that tree, he would surely die. Recognizing that it was not good for Adam to be alone, God then created the first woman, Eve, from Adam's rib. The text states that the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. This suggests a state of innocence and harmony, where Adam and Eve lived in perfect communion with each other and with their Creator. The narrative then introduces the pivotal character of the serpent, who is described as more crafty than any other beast of the field. The serpent approaches Eve and questions God's command, suggesting that if she were to eat from the forbidden tree, she would not surely die, but rather be like God, knowing good and evil. Tempted by the serpent's words and the allure of the forbidden fruit, Eve gives in and takes a bite, and then offers some to Adam, who also eats. In that moment, the idyllic existence of the first man and woman is shattered, and the consequences of their disobedience begin to unfold. After Adam and Eve's act of defiance, the text states that the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. This awareness of their own nakedness symbolizes the loss of their innocence and the introduction of shame and guilt into the human experience. When God returns to the garden and confronts Adam and Eve, they attempt to hide from him, betraying their sense of separation from the divine. God then proceeds to pronounce judgment on the serpent, Eve, and Adam, respectively. To the serpent, God declares, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life." This curse is often interpreted as a symbolic condemnation of the serpent, representing the ongoing spiritual battle between good and evil. Next, God turns to Eve and declares, "I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing, in pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband, but he shall rule over you." This judgment highlights the disruption of the harmonious relationship between man and woman, as well as the introduction of pain and suffering into the human experience. Finally, God addresses Adam, saying, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you, in pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return." This judgment pronounced upon Adam emphasizes the consequences of his disobedience, including the hardship of labor, the toil of working the land, and the inevitability of death. The text also highlights the severing of the close relationship between humanity and the divine, as Adam and Eve are now separated from God and the Garden of Eden. After pronouncing judgment on the serpent, Eve, and Adam, God then takes decisive action, expelling Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. The text states, "The Lord God sent him out from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he was taken. He drove out the man, and at the east of the Garden of Eden he placed the cherubim and a flaming sword that turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life." This expulsion represents a profound shift in the human condition, as Adam and Eve are now severed from the direct presence and provision of God, forced to navigate the harsh realities of the world outside the garden. The cherubim and flaming sword serve as a symbol of the impassable barrier between humanity and the tree of life, signifying the loss of immortality and the introduction of death into the human experience. The narrative then goes on to describe the lives of Adam and Eve outside of the Garden of Eden. They bear children, including their firstborn son, Cain, and their second son, Abel. However, the aftermath of the fall is marked by continued strife and tragedy, as Cain murders his brother Abel out of jealousy. The text states that the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel your brother?" He said, "I do not know, am I my brother's keeper?" And the Lord said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground." This event further illustrates the disruptive consequences of sin, as the rift between humanity and God is now reflected in the broken relationships between human beings. As the narrative continues, we see the continued descent of humanity, with the world becoming increasingly corrupt and violent, leading to the eventual judgment of the flood, where God wipes out all of humanity except for Noah and his family. The story of Adam and Eve's fall from grace in the Garden of Eden is a pivotal moment in the biblical narrative, with profound theological significance and lasting implications for the human experience. At the heart of this story is the fundamental concept of sin and its consequences. The disobedience of Adam and Eve represents the introduction of sin into the world, severing the perfect relationship between humanity and God. This act of rebellion against the divine command not only disrupted the harmony of the Garden of Eden, but also set in motion a cascading series of events that have shaped the human condition ever since. The narrative of the fall also highlights the concept of human free will and the responsibility that comes with it. God created Adam and Eve with the capacity to make choices, and their decision to eat the forbidden fruit, despite God's explicit warning, demonstrates the power and potential for misuse of this free will. This theological principle of human agency and accountability is a central theme that echoes throughout the Bible and continues to shape our understanding of the human experience. Moreover, the story of the fall serves as a foundational explanation for the existence of sin, suffering, and death in the world. The judgments pronounced by God upon the serpent, Eve, and Adam illustrate the consequences of sin, including pain, toil, and the inevitability of physical death. This narrative has become a lens through which Christians have understood the human condition, providing a framework for grappling with the presence of evil and the struggle to reconcile the existence of a loving, all-powerful God with the realities of a fallen world. The reverberations of the fall can be seen throughout the rest of the biblical narrative, as the unfolding story of humanity's relationship with God is marked by the ongoing struggle to overcome the effects of sin and restore the original harmony of the Garden of Eden. This theme of redemption and the promise of a future restoration of the divine-human relationship is a central motif that carries through the rest of the Old Testament and culminates in the coming of Jesus Christ, the second Adam, who offers a way for humanity to be reconciled with God. The story of Adam and Eve's fall from grace in the Garden of Eden is a powerful and enduring narrative that has captivated the human imagination for centuries. This pivotal moment in the biblical account serves as a profound exploration of sin, judgment, and the human condition, with lasting theological significance and profound implications for our understanding of the human experience. Through the careful analysis of the scriptural text, we have traced the journey of Adam and Eve from the idyllic splendor of the Garden of Eden to the harsh reality of exile, examining the circumstances that led to their disobedience, the consequences they faced, and the deeper symbolic meaning of this pivotal moment. The story of the fall not only provides a foundational explanation for the presence of sin, suffering, and death in the world, but also underscores the crucial concept of human free will and the responsibility that comes with it. The judgments pronounced by God upon the serpent, Eve, and Adam serve as a poignant reminder of the consequences of sin and the severing of the divine-human relationship. As we have seen, the reverberations of the fall can be felt throughout the rest of the biblical narrative, shaping the ongoing story of humanity's struggle to overcome the effects of sin and find a way to be reconciled with the divine. This theme of redemption and the promise of a future restoration of the original harmony of the Garden of Eden is a central motif that carries through the rest of the Old Testament and finds its fulfillment in the coming of Jesus Christ, the second Adam, who offers a way for humanity to be redeemed. In the end, the story of Adam and Eve's fall from grace in the Garden of Eden stands as a timeless and powerful narrative that continues to shape our understanding of the human condition. By grappling with the profound truths and enduring lessons contained within this ancient tale, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the human experience and the ongoing quest to reconcile ourselves with the divine.